Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. This is a live stream pregame edition. And let me just make sure. I don't know why the chat box is gone here, because I definitely want to be able to see the chat box. Let me see if I can see it on my phone. Sorry, this is the first time I've used this, like trying to do a premiere like this, and just want to see how it's going to work out. But I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Mike Woodson, what's going to happen in this game tonight, because we got to see a lot. We got to see a lot of changes to, I think, feel comfortable even going forward. We got 9 games left, and this is a weak team. It just depends, like, what are we going to see out of the Hoosiers? And sorry, I cannot see the chat. All right, well, I got the chat on my phone, and maybe I can figure out how to pull it up right here. But, yeah, IU will need to surprise OSU. ESPN matchup predictor gives Hoosiers. Yeah, I saw that too today. Not a great chance of them winning this game, which is, yeah, whoever wants it more will win. I think this might be a really ugly game. It might be like a 55-58 score. Who knows? I mean, one thing really, I think from looking at the stats, Cups, Mike Woodson has to instruct Cups that, because he's only averaging, let me pull these stats up here. Yeah, Cups is averaging 1.4 assists a game. I mean, he has to at least probe he's got to probe into the inside and dish the ball off or shoot from the outside or something. If Woodson doesn't give him any type of instruction, like to do something different out there, I mean, he's got to pull him out of the game. You got to give Gunn a chance, give anybody a chance that's just going to be able to do something. I was looking, like, going through player by player here, like earlier today, and it's like some guys, I know Renew gets a lot of the, credit for being, our main scoring threat, but he is an awful passer. I mean, one thing I think Woodson has to get through his brain, that he has to be able to dish the ball off occasionally. He just can't suck it into the middle, and then we end up with 3 or 4 guys in the lane. Just, that is awful to watch. But take this off here. But those two guys, one thing I wish they would do is maybe let Ware face people up and not be a little bit further away from the basket. I was looking at all their 3-point percentages today, and it's like, I mean, Cups is shooting 40% on threes. Renew is pretty high on threes. But if these guys can hit threes, why do they not at least run something so they can shoot them? Another thing in this game, I mean, I think I put this poll out earlier. Galloway has got to play a better game. He's averaging 10 points right now. There's no reason. I mean, on the road, he's disappeared, I think, against Wisconsin. And he's got to get the ball. He's got to make plays within the offense. He only seems like he gets a steal. He gets a fast break dunk here and there and something like that. But he never really gets his scoring here lately. And last year, he was much better last year with the floater and with some of the other things he was doing. Yeah, no, Cups should be a lot more aggressive out there. I don't know what goes on with him. It's very frustrating to watch. But overall, I mean, Woodson, he really has to prove himself through these last games. When I'm really thinking about the overarching problems, Xavier Johnson getting kicked out of 2 games, CJ Gunn getting kicked out of a game, them not making any 3-pointers at Illinois, getting completely trounced by Wisconsin. When you think of all these teams that have made this season, say if you take like some of this stuff didn't happen, it wouldn't seem so dismal as it does right now. But you take like that we looked like a dirty team, 3 different games where guys got kicked out, and just adding all that stuff up. If he doesn't coach this team up to at least show some way that they can make like 8 or 9 3-pointers or get some type of outside action going on, I don't see how he can continue to be the coach. Right now, they are just running an NBA style system where the inmates are really running the asylum. And what really, really, I think aggravated me the most about his comments just after the last game were like, he's like, I've not seen that. I've not seen them play that way. It's like, what are you talking about? I mean, they have played like that all year. I mean, all year long, they've had 10-minute stretches of games where they've looked completely out of sorts. So for him to be the coach and say he's not seen that is pretty crazy. So it's pretty hard to, if your coach has not even a clue of how to, get these guys motivated, or even doesn't see that they need to be motivated. I think that's the main thing. I don't think he thinks that he has to motivate them or has to do these like extra things. But I mean, to me, he really has to get through to different players that have to be more aggressive from the outside, and it's just not getting through. I mean, something happens to Mbako during these games as well, where he starts out, he might score 6 or 8 points, and a lot of our players are like that. We come out at the beginning of the game with a little bit of aggression in the first 5 minutes, and it just quickly fades. Like our effort inside, outside, we think that the other team is just going to like give up, and we're surprised that they keep playing really hard for the whole game, and they're going after loose balls, and we're thinking like, well, we were ahead by 8 points, and what happened? Well, you just got to keep up the intensity the entire time. These games are all nationally televised. They're all big games to these players. Any player, even if they're on Penn State or a team that sucks, they all are looking to get their name, out there and see. Grab something to drink here. Just seltzer here. Oh, thank you, William. Yeah, I've debated about like live streams because I'm doing more and more, regular videos that I edit and everything like that. And I love to do that, but I'm experimenting with the live streams, the times when they do it. Cause I'll tell you, I watch all the channels. I watch like Assembly Call. I love watching them after the games. They do probably the best like analytical breakdown, I feel like, if you listen to Tonsoni. But, this channel, I really like to just get really the fans' perspective. I mean, that's why I put these polls out, and I like to see, just what players do we need to step up. I think a big thing down on Woodson is how much Galloway has regressed this year. And like at the beginning of the season, him and Xavier Johnson did this thing on YouTube where they questioned each other, and both of them said that the team had to get better shooting from the outside. So I feel like from watching that, it's like the players know we have to shoot better from the outside. Everybody knows we have to be better shooting from the outside, but we're just not putting people in position. I mean, we have to set screens up top further away from the basket and have guys rolling off of those screens so they're going to catch the ball ready to shoot three-pointers. Until we really see that type of action, it's really hard to say that Mike Woodson's going to just keep and being able to be here, because it is the seat. If they lose this game, the seat will get really hot. And like Ohio State, they've lost. It started when we beat them the last time. Can we do that again? And Xavier Johnson had one of his best games in that game. So can we do that? Can Gabe Cupps, Galloway, and some bench players? That's the other thing about the last game. Anthony Walker was not in the game at all. Was not complete non-factor. Didn't even play in the second half. And what were you even thinking really bringing Anthony Walker in as a player anyway? You had Mbako in his spot. He's a player that totally doesn't make sense to be on this team. But that's just a roster thing. But this game is going to be I don't know if Johnson's playing. I saw him, he was on the bench the last game, and he didn't have a thing on his arm or anything, so I couldn't believe he didn't have something broken just by the way his reaction was after he fell. It was really bad. And Johnson maybe could be playing. I wouldn't be surprised, because Renew being out there the last game, I think Indiana shuffling so many of these big guys in and out. I mean, my opinion is that when Renew and Ware are on the floor together, they both are just going to take the ball and take their shots from the inside, and it just stymies the rest of our team. We don't get the ball moving around the outside. We just have two guys down low who are going to just suck up pretty much all the possessions. I went through last game, and not to relive the Penn State game, but the first possessions of that second half were just really awful. Like, Mbako dribbled off of his foot. He didn't dribble off his foot, but he just dribbled out of bounds. Then Cupps had a 10-second violation. Then Galloway, he had a steal, got his 2 points, which from that game, rewatching it, it's like Galloway, I can't believe that he doesn't make more shots or have more plays designed. It looks like everything that he does it on his own. He gets the ball on the wing, drives it into the center, normally makes a good pass. And then from there, if it's past the Cupps or certain players, they won't shoot it. And Mbako normally takes a shot from the outside if he's completely wide open or if somebody's on him. But yeah, the first 9 possessions of that second half against Penn State were awful. And you would think that those would be the most scripted type plays coming out of the locker room, that you would say, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. Like, feed the ball in. They didn't go to Ware at all at the beginning of that second half. So that was kind of baffling, because he had like 17 in the first half. So if that's working, you think you would go back to that. But all right. Yeah, Johnson probably not playing, but yeah, I am going to turn the Peacock on here in a second, get ready for the game. And, thank you so much for joining me. I see we got like 10 people in here. That's not bad. This is only the second really live stream I've done on this Hoosiers channel. But, this game is very, very critical. And I'll make a video tomorrow. I am off of work, so I'm definitely, those are my videos right now that get the most like views and everything, because right now Hoosier Nation is definitely hot with like what we're seeing out there, and just Woodson, his comments, and just kind of the effort level that we're seeing from these guys who, with 9 games left, it could get really, really saucy down here, down the stretch with 9 games left. So it's critical for them to not let the wheels come off completely, but in some ways, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen at this point. I mean, Woodson, if this looks really bad tonight, there are going to be a lot of people saying that he's got to be fired. If you lose in a really struggling way against a struggling team, it's going to start getting really hot. And then we play Purdue, which we could get completely trounced by them. We've lost a lot of games by double digits with Woodson as our coach. So as long as that keeps happening, it's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter for him. And we'll see. We'll see if we see some different stuff. So far, at least from a player's standpoint, I feel like our players, when they play a bad half like they did in the Penn State game, I think they hear and they feel all of the negativity from the fans and from a lot of different places, and the players. And I don't give Mike Woodson any of the credit for this. I just think that the players, they feel all that heat, and Galloway really does want to play well, and Cupps and Mbako, and these guys do want to play well. They're just not getting the instruction from the coaching staff, and that's why it's, I think, so frustrating. I feel for these guys, but hopefully they come out like gangbusters tonight because they're feeling it, and that's been the case some of the time. Like the Illinois game, they came out really, at least we couldn't say, they didn't look like they were giving their effort. So I'm going to sign off of here. Thank you guys so much for signing into this. And until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.